my
I don't know. Can you do it? I don't.
my channel. Yeah, I'll
I'm
look
not
it
good at it.
up.
Oh, I'm sweating in here. It's hot.
And
Oops.
so the way
Okay.
the recovery works is like, just like I'm going to use the same word you used.
Yeah.
That is, it takes. I'm going to use the same wisdom you gave me. Heroin takes a month. If you want to repeat it, I'll put it on record. You tell me.
Yeah.
Heroin takes.
The initial detox from heroin takes 1 month. I hope we're being recorded.
Yes. And then?
But the healing process from the whole deal probably does take about 9 months. Fentanyl is longer because it's shorter acting and you need more of it. And it's harder to get off of. The detox is harder. It just, whatever it does inside of your body, it's harder to get off of. And the healing process is usually a little bit longer. And as I said, Suboxone, I don't know because I'm on it right now and I am being sustained and I have not used for, oh my gosh, I don't know how long, very long time. And
That's my website. So what it is I'm going to paraphrase what you're saying. That is, heroin takes roughly 1 month for recovery, which means only physical withdrawal.
Just physical.
And then fentanyl is 2 months recovery again, physical withdrawal.
Yeah.
Methadone, you say 3 months.
Much
it is
longer.
longer because first you need to taper down to 30.
Yes.
That itself is like forever, right? Like
feels like
so
forever,
once you
right?
reach 30,
right.
Once you switch it to Suboxone, 3 months, right? Stabilization. This is a separate piece, but what Suboxone in addition does is more stabilization.
Right.
So it is helping you to not get frustrated easily, process better, and so that piece, unfortunately, government doesn't want to focus on, so you're not allowed to have it for that reason. That piece, forever you might need it because there is no other medication like that. But if I compare it to wounds in the brain, right, there is a receptor called mu receptor. That's what the narcotics sits. So Suboxone is a partial agonist. It is little bit. It's very the receptors are very attracted to it, but it's like a maple syrup. It will sit there and release itself very slow. So essentially, the receptors are not hungry, but at the same time, the effect is not high either. So it's like slow release. So in addition to mood stabilization, this part is what you're getting immediately, which is roughly, like I said, it's 72 to 48 hours sometimes. Some people maybe it'll take 4 5 days. But physical symptoms is not what I meant by saying it stabilizes in 3 days. But then in addition, there is another receptor called NMDA. Okay, that one is what is reset by methadone, and Suboxone does not have that ability, and that's why methadone people get quicker, healed faster, whereas Suboxone takes longer.
Right.
And to reset those, natural way to reset is nicotine has a nicotine gum.
Yes,
because that releases dopamine, or magnesium, because the magnesium is leached out. And because of that, calcium is in, so it triggers the response. That's why, people in recovery will say, my hand snaps suddenly. They'll assume that it is because they're withdrawing, but it's because the nerves are still frayed. So when the nerve rewires itself, it used to be an impulse in the past. Now it doesn't have anywhere to go. And so it creates like a surge in the brain.
Yes.
And you snap, suddenly your leg.
I do feel that sometimes.
So that freaks out some people, especially when they're in a relationship, they are feeling worried the spouse will catch them.
Yes.
And they would try to hide that feeling.
Oh.
So that creates like a little bit of shame in them. So that's the reason they use Johnny's on the street. Okay.
Oh, yes.
But
I was on Gabby Patton and methadone. Right after the real name of Johnny's is Gabby Patton. The doctor said it's for nerve pain.
It's not nerve pain because it's like a. Remember, your fuses again and again sparking,
Yes.
and you're so scared. Oh my God, am I coming down with seizure? Because people don't
That's
understand
what
two and two together. So, and those people, if they take glutamate, let's say you have a processing issue, I feel everybody should get their genetic tested.
Yes.
Because there is a gene called COMT, catechol omethyltransferase, that is off for addicts. And you need to understand how to fix it because that's what creates a nerve impulse and it never gets reset. Those people, when they come across glutamate, if they don't process it to glutamine, their brain never resets. So these people, when they eat chips, Chinese food, they'll
Anything's an
become
addiction.
very manic. They can
Yes.
stay awake forever. That's because their stress response is aroused. And remember, if you don't trust your environment, you will never sleep, right? If somebody is going to kill you,
Yeah.
you're not going to sleep. They essentially glutamate creates that feeling in them that they feel rushed. Because of that, they will never be able to put themselves to the relationship inside that tells them, I'm okay, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to sleep because you keep watching your back. Who's looking at me,
Yes.
So that's the glutamate part. So that's another.
So it's not just psychological, like when people feel that way, it's also in the chemical.
Yes, but unfortunately, nobody teaches these things. And the glutamine and glutamate and glucose, because that's what creates the glucose addiction. Because those people get a rush out of sugar, and that comes when down. Yes. So when they get into that cycle, that creates cancer in them. Okay, so that's why a very high level of cancer in people, because opiate itself suppresses immunity. The glutamine cycle, if it's not reset, they have a very high potential for cancer. There's another piece we need to figure it out. And their immunity is low, they can create fungal infection and other stuff.
As in my daughter with the hip, her hip just degenerated.
And the other thing is opiate suppresses all the endocrine system. So you become no libido, you don't just secrete testosterone, you don't secrete adrenal hormones, so fatigue, exhaustion. So Suboxone replaces these. And opioid eats the bone, osteoporosis. So that's why methadone people will lose teeth.
That's what
Suboxone
yes.
actually stabilizes bones. But what happens is Suboxone itself creates addiction.
Yes.
Okay, so it will be very tough to get off Suboxone.
So that's the
So
only
Suboxone withdrawal, mental withdrawal will last 9 days. And there's nothing you can do. Suboxone has to be taken. You cannot just like that take it off.
Mental last 9 days or physical?
The physical withdrawal on mental withdrawal because it works in autonomic nervous system, that heart colds, muscle spasms, or tummy getting very, very tight, waking up with smooth muscle spasms. So essentially it's a sore in your brain, okay? And by law, or rather any healing, you can only do up to 80%. The 80% of mental health healing to rewire the brain takes 18 months.
Right.
And if you use in between, you push it back. Then what happens with the brain? Brain has a very interesting phenomena where it has black holes. Okay. If you do not remember detail, if I ask my patients, I'll say, did you use last week? They look me in the eye and they will say, maybe not. Say, what do you mean by that? Because they are blackouts. The problem is it's not like they are lying, and I get them. I get them because I know that's the best they could do. Sometimes they are so sneaky, they will say, they will use that word. So I need to figure out who is who. They'll say, maybe I use, but I want to know whether they're smart enough to catch me. So we need to first get to that place where I can trust them. And that if they are simple liars, it's like having a chocolate all over your mouth. I'll say, hey, did you eat chocolate? Mom, I never eat.
It's all over the place.
You look at their urine report, you can catch them,
So
So,
that's what they got with me real funny. And I'll tell you, I told my son he wasn't allowed in the basement. He had a black sweatshirt on with a hood on, and it's all covered with dust in the back. He comes up, I said, "You were in the basement." He goes, "No, I didn't go in the basement." I go, "Turn around, you got spider webs all over
so
you."
it's that obvious. But unfortunately, addictive brain doesn't understand. And alcohol, let's say in addition, they use alcohol, right? Alcohol does create memory holes because they have cognition disability. And for them, they will base their answer on what their normal is if they didn't use. So they will say, I am not capable of that behavior. They will never say, no, I didn't do it. And actually, I see it with my children. My one of my sons uses alcohol as a coping mechanism. I'm hoping, I'm getting him out of that. But you really need to understand how to use that channel that energy in music because you can rewire it with music. That's why I encourage people in recovery
music.
to doing music because that's the only way to kick it out. And that's why it's very creative because people who are using music also has a habit forming
It is, but it's
lifestyle.
also a different thing. When I play my guitar,
Yes,
I get in this space where
yes,
there's nothing else around but
yes.
my mind, what I'm listening to, what I'm trying to make a sound of, what I'm producing, and the sound that's coming out.
See, that's exactly the sign I was looking for. See, you are creating thoughts, right? The thought is logical thinking. Okay, it goes from your heart to becoming a word that creates memory and feeling that's pleasant or unpleasant for you.
Yes.
If it is pleasant, you let it go in as a visual and you say, okay, I'm going to engage with the thought. And then you go into depth, right? The depth is you understand the thought. So music you understand.
Yes.
And then comes the next dimension where it is like not a x-axis, not a y-axis. You go on a z-axis. That creates the noise. It could be a word or a music, and you pull it back, create your time, your anchor. It's like your arrow.
Yeah.
So when you shoot out, if it is music, you're creative. If you're shooting up sarcasm, you pull back. You say, I'm going to process it. Don't let the poison come out, and let it process it. And that's where alcoholism is a problem because they'll make up stories to fit in with the lifestyle that is being given so they can stay in their family. And that's a sickness which the family might not like because they think that they are lying, but actually it's called medical word is called confabulation. And unfortunately,
They
law
create their own
reality. But law, on the other hand, screws these people up because they let them use their rights in a wrong manner to stay in a bad behavior.
Right.
I wish the judge and the legal system stay off the pathways of recovery in addiction because what they are doing is they are doing something that is sabotaging addiction.
Yes.
So then once you cross the time path, then it becomes music, which is, and then goal focused music. When you arrange the goal focused music, you can rewire your brain. When you rewire your brain, you will be able to get your life back together. So music for memory is one of the pathway you can rebuild dementia. Then comes space. The space again, you create the music, you create the goal, but this time you pull your soul out to say, I am not going to engage in this lifestyle that takes away the shine inside me, the expression. I'm broken on the outside, but I'm pure light on the inside. So I choose to engage in activity will bring me forward. So that's why light is the ultimate guide, even after death. Because what happens is after death, you don't have association with your body, only with that being inside you. If you never had a connection inside, you'll be scared of your own soul.
Right. Most people are.
So you will not want to face it. And that's when it creates confusion because people don't want to take the next step. They stay back. So understanding while you're breathing to go into that space without thinking, who am I? What do I want? What is it that I'm running away from? And allowing that as part of your recovery spiritually is the way to recover. What is recovery is you can only recover what is lost. What is lost is life. What is life is what we took for granted. What we took for granted is responsibility. Somebody else will fix me. Now, US government put them on disability. You forever can stay, not get out of bed and be depressed. That's the way US government wants because we would rather our people disengage who are not productive in society than be the workforce, which is only 20% who's making the 80% disability income. And even in the 20%, only 1% is rich, which dictates the whole world. Only three people make the paper money. Who controls all the world except for North Korea? Mm-hmm. Now Cuba is like they are attacking so that the Federal Reserve can take over. And what I'm saying is it's so diabolical this whole world. Yes. That you are only person who can detect and make your record. And this is my spiel. My 20 minutes.
Oh, it was wonderful.